right, you guys, welcome back to a new episode of Car Talk. I'm your host, Big Mike, right here with.
Ryan Bossery from Rywire.
It's been a while, we know, but we've been working on a lot of different things, and I actually want to get straight into that. One of the reasons why we haven't had some episodes out is because there's a big change as far as for Ryan and Rywire, and also the Car Talk studio, where we will be producing content and with cars. So, can you touch on both the location and the house?
Yeah. So eventually we still need to work on getting some car talks done at the house.
And
That
Ryan,
would
you
be
guys online, you guys would have seen, hopefully,
the
certain
reno
sections
at the house.
of Ryan's
Yeah.
house in which we're gonna kind of give that to guests to kind of illuminate them in a very artsy, classy fashion.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. And I have a new shop space as well, so that could be another opportunity to have a studio slash
yeah,
a cool place to do this, as well as a nice place for me to work.
right,
But
right.
I mean, a lot of this stuff is gonna take time.
Yes, yes,
The house is finished,
yes.
so we could potentially do something there quicker.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So that's kind of something to look forward to, I guess.
It's the continued growth, and as we highlight builders and other people to come on Car Talk, you'll be able to see that space. For those of you that haven't, it's a great looking, very beautiful, artsy type of environment to really sit down with a third person and their build. The whole car is in screen with us. Their entire vehicle will be featured here on Car Talk, and that's something that we're really looking forward to doing. But here we are kicking off 2023. We've already knocked out the first month. We're kicking off this year strong, individually, in from the United States, from California to Miami, all the way to Japan, Tokyo, Osaka. We're gonna get right into it. What we've been doing and how we're still and continue to be integrated into nationwide and worldwide automotive culture. So I'm gonna let Ryan kick that off. The one and only TAS.
So yeah, I did TAS. Traveled there with Ravi from CSF.
Yep.
So kind of the plan was to try to figure out like kind of who I'm gonna go with,
Yeah.
because I really wanted to go because it's been 2 years since I've
Yes.
gone to Japan. So that was like something that I was really excited to do. I love Japan. I love traveling. I've been there. I haven't checked my passport yet, but I want to say it's about 15 times.
Okay.
So it's a lot
and
of times.
pretty consistently, except
Yeah.
for the last 2 years.
Right.
Like almost literally every year.
Yep, or probably almost twice a year
Twice a year.
for maybe the past 9, 10 years.
Okay, well,
almost
then
twice.
that would make 20. Or
Right,
18
but
or
I didn't
20.
go twice every year.
Fair enough.
So it would be like maybe every other year I went
Yeah.
once and then twice and then once and then
Yeah.
twice. So it's a good amount of time. And then I had gone way back.
Yeah.
Even before, like for my
So
first time.
You got
So-
to get back there after 2 years.
Yep, that was really cool. Traveled with Ravi. Trip started out awesome. I mean, it was awesome the whole time, but it started out with a bang because Ravi's like, oh, I have, I'm gonna fly business class,
Yeah.
so we can get into the LAX buffet slash what is it called? Like the cool guy spot that I never probably get to go to.
I don't even know, my friend.
Sometimes you have to have the right credit card to get in, whatever. But
okay.
it was like
like the Sky Lounge?
the lounge.
The
right?
lounge, okay.
The really nice lounge in LAX. It was awesome. So we started off there. Ravi was drinking a lot because apparently he can fly better when he's drunk. I actually just get a headache when I'm drunk. So
Okay.
I was like, that's not what I want to do.
Okay.
So yeah, I just I had an okay flight. Got in, and we always pretty much leave at the same time and arrive at the same time. So it's like late afternoon.
Yeah.
And you got to kind of force yourself to stay up. So, it was like immediately we land and there was...
Okay,
some-
in Tokyo. So you
Yeah.
guys went to Tokyo directly.
Went directly to Narita.
Yep, Narita.
You take the Narita Express.
Yes.
Which is, I ended up getting the 2-week
Pass?
pass for the trains.
Yes.
Probably didn't need the first week, but I was in a weird situation that doesn't really matter. I was trying to figure out, like... Because I was going to go to Osaka
Yeah.
at the end of the trip. And then I was like, well, do I activate a 1-week pass late? Or do I just get the 2-week, knowing that I'm going to be going around in Tokyo?
Just in case. You
Just
so
in
you were
case.
like, let me just
So I was
get
like,
2 weeks.
It's like 400. I could have gotten it for $350, but I booked when I was there in Japan. So
Yeah.
it was a little extra. Anyway, so I invested the $400 and then had rail pass to wherever.
Yep, yep.
So it's always nice to have. Recommended. Definitely look into that if you guys go. Um, so Narita Express, which is part of the rail pass, activated it. Got the free Narita Express to Tokyo. It's like an hour, and then so we got in. We're staying in Shibuya.
Yep.
So I was talking to Ravi, and I was like, "You want to stay somewhere fancy?
Yeah.
Because I have a bunch of points.
Yep.
Because I haven't traveled for 2 years.
Yep.
So I have all these freaking points built, burning a hole in my
Yeah.
pocket. And I'm like, I'm down to stay somewhere nice. And he's like, I'm also down to not stay somewhere nice. I'm like, all right, cool, fair enough. We'll stay somewhere that's not,
Yeah.
that's not like baller,
But you didn't stay in those micro rooms.
not a micro room, a medium room.
A medium
but,
room?
But it was separate.
For
I didn't
for
stay with
Western
him.
standards, like American style, is it really still medium?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, like it's small for Western.
For Western.
Yeah.
But for them, it's a medium.
Yeah.
Because the micro's like tiny.
Yeah, this is like you walk in, there's a hallway, and then the hallway has a bathroom that's like how they make these bathrooms is they basically off-site like mass manufactured things that they just like install when they're like building. It's like
And
a
this
plastic...
is in Shibuya, by Shibuya,
Yeah,
Shibuya
yeah.
Station?
Yeah, but they're all it's by Shibuya Station.
Okay.
So like a 5-minute walk from Shibuya Station, so it's real easy. But yeah, these plastic bathrooms are just like so you step up and
Yeah.
then it's all plastic and they're always the same. So that and then like a bed that's like not a queen but not a double. It's just like a medium-sized bed.
Yeah.
And then there's like barely room to walk around the sides.
Sure.
There's like barely room to put your luggage down.
Fair enough. Fair
So
enough.
it's
so you
pretty
guys,
small.
ironically, you chose to stay in this like not so fancy type place.
Yeah, it's a little boutique hotel though, so it's kind of fancy, like wood accents everywhere and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's kind of cool, but still only like $110 a night or something like
Okay,
that.
fair enough. Totally
So-
affordable. For those of you that have been talking about going to Tokyo Auto Salon, I mean, take some notes. This is a fantastic way to do it. Ryan's gone so many times, and whether you stay in fancy places, larger places, if you want that kind of luxury or just space, you're gonna pay a little bit because in Tokyo the pricing is similar to Western pricing, right?
Yeah, like you could spend $1,000 a night,
If you really wanted to. I hope you don't
or you
want to.
pay $500 and you get somewhere pretty darn nice.
Pretty done, yeah. So okay, so you stay in this
It
place.
was like 110. It was like cheap,
Yeah.
But the exchange rate's pretty good. It's like $1 gets you $1.30. So figure.
Okay,
It's like
yeah. So the yen still hasn't quite recovered.
not yet.
Okay.
It was up to 150, down to 130 now.
Okay.
And then anyway, so we get in. We on the plane we were like, okay, let's make a list of everybody that's here.
Yeah.
Like everybody that you know that you saw on IG or
you mean that
personally
you
know.
want to see or just for the heck of
everybody that's here.
it? Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So we made this huge list. And then, as you're posting, people are hitting you up. Oh, you're going.
Yeah.
So then you're adding to the list. We had like 40 names, easy.
Yeah.
Right? So like 40 people are in
From like
Japan, going to
the
TAS.
US, even like
that's
California.
like my immediate like IG friends.
Sure.
Or personal friends, but I saw on IG they're going, okay, write it down.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
they message me on IG, okay, they're going. Or I know them extremely well and I text them about it or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Anyway, so we write down all these names. Robbie writes down all these names. We get like, I don't know, 40, 50 names. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that it's like, okay, who's here currently right now? So we're like looking like, oh, okay. Like, we ran into some people at the airport and
Yeah.
stuff. We're like, oh, what are you doing? They're like, let's go eat like right when we land. All right,
Okay.
cool. So we went and got food, got drinks with people, discovered like all these, some places. Yeah, I've stayed in Shibuya a lot. We discovered places that I'd never seen before.
Okay.
Pretty cool spots like Old Town. We went and got drinks.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm gonna look at my pictures because then I'll remember because it's been a week.
Yeah,
since I
so
got back.
this is all preceding Tokyo Auto Salon.
Yeah,
You're just
we
being
ended up-
touristy right now.
We ended up getting there. Yeah, we're just doing tourist stuff for a few days. We ended up getting there on Monday,
Okay.
and TAS starts like. Roll-in is Wednesday. I've been before, but
It starts on
generally you don't
Thursday.
go. So you start on Thursday. That's like media day.
Yeah.
And then half of Friday is media day, and
Yeah.
then it turns into public last half of Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, which we don't even go Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Because it's just like,
Mayhem.
yeah, and like people are there for the wrong reasons. They're there to try to like get upskirt shots of girls.
That's like a
And-
real
Oh,
problem
dude, it's like a problem. Yeah, for sure.
for like the umbrella and like model girls.
Yeah, in Japanese it's called skebe. So
It's
the
literally upskirt shots.
yeah, like they're called. It's like dirty perverts,
Right.
and
This particular car talk episode is segued slightly. So
so there's
continue.
just a lot of the scabe there.
Interesting.
So we
And Saturday, Sunday
don't
is the
even
day where
bother.
they flock.
Yeah, it's just like madness. Like, it's not even about cars; it's about the models, and then it's just flocks of these
Yeah.
Whereas Thursday, you walk right by a model, and they're just like trying to get your attention, and like you're like,
Right.
I'm,
You're like, I'm here for the cars.
yeah, and there's not flocks of people, and then like the
Sure.
weekend is just like 100, 200 people right next to one girl, and then the booth next door. It's like, and they have to have models, or else
No one will
no
go
one
to
will
their
even
booth.
come. But
Fascinating.
we haven't gotten to TAS yet. So, you know, first day is cool. Second day so first day is like just literally like we have some drinks and some food.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, let's go shopping, because Ravi really wanted to go shopping. Harajuku,
Yeah.
that's like the big shopping area. It has all the Supremes and all the hip spots, but then it also has
Like the stuff that you and I just don't particularly care for.
okay, let me tell you this.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to go.
Sure.
The reason why, the architecture and the way that they lay out the stores are so dope.
Yes.
Like you look, I go.
So you're
into,
looking at things
I'm looking at-
entirely differently than everyone around
yeah,
you.
like I walked into, I don't remember what it was called, neighborhood, or maybe it was, I don't remember. So one of those like
Yeah.
shops, they got like cool shoes. So I like look at the Nikes real quick and go, yeah, I'm really probably not gonna buy that right now,
Yeah.
right? And then I look at the architecture of how they lay out the spots, because people invest money in these. They want this
Yeah.
is their like
Yeah.
it's their Tokyo store, right?
Yeah.
So you look, and like the woodwork is super fancy. There's like concrete, architectural concrete everywhere. If they're just trying to kind of like hide a HVAC system, it'll just be like spray painted black, maybe.
Yeah.
But then
That's
but
pretty
then,
normal
but
now.
then yeah,
I
it's
like
pretty
it.
normal.
I kind
but,
of dig it.
it's very industrial. But then
Like
there's like
wood and spray painted black HVAC, some brushed aluminum. You can make that look really nice.
yeah,
Man.
like it's really sick.
Yeah, you can make it
So
look
then
really
I'm
nice.
taking pictures of stuff, and then the employees are like, "Do you need me to help you?" kind of a
Oh,
thing.
I see.
I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm okay."
Like, how's their English in these like big name stores? Still not that
hit
good.
or miss.
Hit or miss. Okay, interesting.
Some of them are like speaking very well.
Yeah.
And then other ones are just like not really.
Yeah.
trying to
I was kind
even-
of interested in that. Like,
Yeah.
if it's like a brand from an English speaking country or something like that. Or do they like try to find salespeople that
Yeah, they'll-
speak English?
If like you're really asking questions, and then they're just like, "Oh my god, I don't know."
Yeah.
And they're trying to find somebody to help.
Okay.
To help you.
Okay.
So yeah, we were just like going around looking at all kinds of stuff, and then we like I think that night we were like, "Oh, let's go eat at a sushi restaurant."
Yeah.
And then Ravi wanted to go to. We were in Shinjuku, I think it was. We jumped on like a train really fast, went to Shinjuku, and then we are like, "Let's just go somewhere else." Eat at the. He wanted to go to like a watch place, because he's
Okay.
like, "Oh, they might have like this new drop of Seiko, or I don't remember what brand it was."
Yeah.
I'm like not
Yeah,
really
just-
don't have watches.
Yeah.
But, so we like run in this watch store, checks out some stuff that just before they close, and it's like, oh, let's go get sushi. It's like, just look it up. Oh, this one has tons of reviews. All right, cool. Like, oh, it's omakase. He's like, are you down to like spend some money on it? I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
It was like $175 each.
American dollars?
Yeah, I was like, fuck. Okay. But so I was like, I want a good, like, sushi's my favorite.
Yep.
And I want a good sushi meal. So then we went to this omakase spot that was super highly rated. When I told Dur about it,
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh, you went to da da da."
So he
Like,
knew
it
about
by
it.
name, right?
Are you guys down on a separate note? I don't care what country you're in. Are you down to spend $175 on sushi? This is not all you can eat, guys. They don't do that there.
Yeah, but it was like it was enough to fill you up.
It was
like-
enough to fill you
like
up, right?
14 piece.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, are you down? If you're down, in the comments, let us know. $175.
It was
Okay.
a lot.
Sorry, go
but however, I walk in, right?
Yes.
You ever seen Terrace House?
No, I don't know what that is.
Okay, so what Terrace House is it's a it's like the real world, but there's a panel of it's a Japanese show. It's like Japanese real world.
Okay.
They're put in a house, and then they're interacting with each other, and there's a panel of Japanese like celebrities. So like one of them might be a model or another
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
but
yeah.
he just a comedian, whatever. So I walk in and I'm like, oh fuck, I like never
You recognized
I
it.
recognize this dude, and it was the omakase spot was literally like 7 chairs, and it's like me and Ravi, and then like a group of 3 dudes, and I'm like, I know that guy. The only Japanese TV show that I watch right now is literally he's on that show.
Okay, did you like sort of fanboy out?
I mean, a little
I'm getting
bit.
like a little bit of like
Well, because I
fanboyish
was like,
vibes from you
I
right
was
now.
like, dude, because the guy was like, I looked him up after.
Uh huh.
He was like a Power Ranger, like an
Okay.
OG Power Ranger.
Yeah.
He's like a big time, like not like Jerry Seinfeld, but he's a comedian, like
Okay.
high end comedian in Japan, whatever. So his name's like uh
You like that? You don't even know what his name is.
Ryuta. Yeah, I don't remember,
Okay.
but that guy on Terrace House, and I was like, dude, that's the panel of the guy on Terrace House. And then Robbie's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. He's like, he doesn't watch Terrace
Dude,
House or whatever.
do you guys know what Terrace House is? And
If
do
you
you know the name of the person he's talking about? 'Cause
All
I
right, so
don't.
I didn't want to take a picture of dude,
Yeah.
like just for respect reasons, but Robbie kept taking pictures of the food, and I was like, oh, he had to have taken a picture. And I was trying to use my phone, and I couldn't get any cell service because we were actually underground.
Okay.
It was like down. They had like different levels. Anyway, so um, I was trying to look him up. I couldn't. I wanted to just show him, and then Robbie's like, dude, you're tripping. Like, how are you gonna like spot this Japanese guy over? I'm like, no, but I know what he looks like, right? And he was like, didn't believe me, and I'm like, he always wears these red glasses. All of a sudden, he puts on the red glasses. I was like, boom, motherfucker, right? And he's like, oh shit, that's funny. Like that's him for sure, then, right?
Oh my
Anyways,
gosh.
so I was like, we were drinking, so I was like cheersing him. I was like, yeah, cheers. And I'm like, you, and I was like that. And he goes, thank you, thank you. So like he was totally cool,
Yeah.
and I wasn't trying to like say where he was from or
Yeah.
like whatever, but
Yeah.
I just wanted him to know that I was like, yeah, cool, you know.
Yep.
But if you know about Terrace House, the panel actually, they critiqued this girl, and she's not like a celebrity or trained for this. And the reason why the show's not on the air anymore is because she actually committed suicide because
You mean they critiqued
of
her like physical looks or
something.
something?
I don't remember exactly what it was. It was something that she did. They critiqued, and then she got fucking
Depressed
She
from
got
it?
super hammered online.
Oh, so
Like
they
people,
online bullied her?
they were online bullying her so bad that she ended up committing suicide.
And that's the end of Terrace House.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of a fine line. But
Yeah,
anyway,
so let's get towards TAS over here, the
Yeah,
Tokyo
anyway.
Auto Salon.
so that's basically I want to share that we had fun events, right?
Yeah.
Ravi had a meeting at Spoon
Yep.
because he's working with them to some capacity that I can't tell you.
You can't say
But
just yet.
anyway, so cool thing about that was we got to go and visit those guys, more private meeting.
Yes.
And then I ended up like he was at Spoon, Type 1's down the street. I was like, I'll let you guys do your thing. So I went and walked around and just like I like found cars and found cool homes and stuff like that, and I just like walked along the riverbed thing for like ever. It was super cool. Circled back, and then we met at Type 1.
Mm-hmm.
Got to see the cars that I've already seen a million times.
Yeah.
But it was cool to be back there and back checking that out. And then so that was before TAS. Once we got to TAS, it was the normal TAS. There was the same people that were there, the same shops, the same everything. There was some cool cars. There was some outstanding things that I thought were pretty cool.
Okay, hold on. That's rare for Ryan to say that something's outstanding.
But
what was outstanding?
I had to dig.
Okay. Okay, so was there a predominant chassis? Was it the 86?
That was one of them because it was interesting.
The 400Z?
No.
Wait, which the Nissan?
Oh, this new
The
Z?
Z.
I mean, I didn't really look at those too much.
But there was a decent amount.
There was a good amount of them.
Okay.
Yeah. 86. That's not what I was talking. There was an old one that stood out because Toyota decided to electrify one of them.
A Hachi.
Yeah, and I thought that was very interesting that they would do that.
Yep.
And it was actually in the Toyota booth. And they also did a hydrogen one.
Okay.
And so they did both of those, like, as a
That's pretty random to take
yeah.
AE86s and hydrogen one and electrify one.
Yeah, it was weird.
Interesting.
It was weird to
Interesting.
see.
Okay.
And the powertrains were interesting, and I was trying to like I didn't know much about it,
Yeah.
but and there was crowds of people around it on the Friday that I went.
How was their execution?
It looked pretty clean. I mean, it was okay. I mean, I would do stuff differently or maybe cleaner or whatever, but I mean the execution was fine. It's
Yeah.
to be expected. It was a clean install. There was a Porsche there that was really cool. Like
What company's booth?
I forgot what the I don't remember what company it was, but they had two. They had um like a newer one that was a Cayman,
Yeah.
and it was like back halved where it was like tubular in the back. It was like a
Like
proper
noticeably?
no, it was like proper race car.
Okay.
So like if you look in it, you're like, oh, this is all tubular. That one was cool, but then beside it was like a G body,
Okay.
like a like a air cooled 911. And first thing I noticed, it was a proper race car. It was somebody's like I think that like Attack, the race that's over there
Yeah, yeah.
called Attack.
Yeah.
They race it in both of the cars in Attack.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a circuit car, and it was really cool. It had like a Formula One style carbon fiber steering wheel
Yeah.
with like the quick release that has the auto sport through it, so there's no like wires. It will just
Yeah.
come right off.
Yeah.
And it had like a screen in it, and it was like all the potentiometers, and it was fully
Yeah.
carbon. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, right? And then I started looking at it more, and like there's all these details. It was pneumatic shifted, and like I was like, okay,
So this is obviously the car that stood out to you the most.
that stood out probably the most.
Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Okay, so let's do a little bit more broad, right? For those of you that have always wanted to go to TAS, Tokyo Auto Salon Pictures, and this vlog, this YouTuber, this whatever, for someone who's gone to Japan that many times, to TAS X amount of times, would you say to the average person, yes, they should absolutely put it on their bucket list, or this is why you might or might not like it? Like, what is your verdict on that?
well, okay, you might not like it because the weather,
Okay.
it's super cold.
Yes.
So if you just like don't like cold weather, then
Like, what's cold
like
in Fahrenheit? Like, what's cold?
okay, so it really sucks because indoors it's super hot.
Yes.
Everybody just cranks the heat.
Yes.
So you got to have layers, and you're always like you could get
Is there a coat
sick
check?
so easy. A lot of times you like at restaurants you'll just like hang your coat up, and then you're in a little ass chair, and it's just like rubbing on the side of your head. It's like really annoying, but but yeah, it's super hot indoors, and then it's super cold outside.
Yeah.
So you have
Like, what's cold?
like 30s
Okay.
down to like 0.
Down to
So from 0 to 30 degrees.
yeah. So cold.
Cold.
Like, you need-
and then if it rains, then it snows.
Sure.
So you need like jackets, like
Okay.
really
So if you're
good
not
jackets.
prepared for that type of wind chill, that type of cold,
And
you
if you're
could be
trying to do
miserable.
like outside events, like what I'll lead to is like a lot of the things we do are outside.
yeah. So
And
you have to be ready to be
it's
cold.
it's nighttime and it's 25 degrees, and you're just like no matter what you do, you're cold.
Understood.
I wear like long underwear, long john, whatever you want
And
to
your
call
legs
them,
are still
insulators.
cold.
Still cold. Heavy socks, still cold. I even bought shoes that I've had like for Japan that are like the
Insulated?
warmest Nikes that like
Okay.
on
You know what's funny is I know there's people like from the East Coast, the Midwest, and they're like, "Bro, 25 with the wind chill is fucking springtime
not
to
even
us."
that bad.
Yeah.
I
But
know,
anyways.
but I'm from California, so it's not that great. It's cold and you're outside, and it's just trying to keep warm.
Yeah.
So you might not love that part of it, but it's a good excuse if you want to go to Japan. It's a perfect excuse if you like cars. You may as well go to Auto Salon, and then just travel from there because it's a 4-day event. But like we said, we only go to 2 days.
Right.
Right?
Right. And the rest of it is your guys' own time to
Yeah,
do
but
other
there's
things.
events like there's like the RWB meet, like almost happens every year.
Yeah.
Right, and then there wasn't one this year, but like Spoon will have a meet, right?
Okay,
And then
okay.
a lot of the shops that are local will have like some capacity of like an open house,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool because it's a good time of year to go. But sometimes the shops that you want to visit might have a booth, and then you can't go to their shop. So there's
Because they're busy with TAS.
that could be a
okay.
drawback. But if you're going to stay for 2 weeks or whatever after, or a week and a half after, then you allow them to get back to their shops, and then you can visit those shops if you wanted to.
Okay, here's a question. What would someone expect to spend? Forget 2 weeks. Let's say you do TAS plus a couple extra days. No,
Okay, so
four
a
extra
week.
days.
Well,
Let's say a week.
I feel like you have to go to Japan for a week because
Okay.
you kind of like lose
Yeah, yeah.
day and a
So
half
what
from
what would an
traveling.
average person forget buying parts or buying clothes?
Yeah.
To get yourself there to stay comfortably, right? Not grandiose, but not micro room. Stay comfortably, eat and enjoy good Japanese food. Obviously, you're there. What should someone watching?
Flight's gonna be around $1,000.
Okay, yeah,
Hopefully you
yeah.
can get it for cheaper, but let's just call it 1,000. Your lodging for a week would probably be around $1,000
Around
bucks,
$1,000
and then you probably would want to spend around $1,000 bucks.
for food, rail pass, just general
Yeah,
requirements, not
maybe
extra.
even a little bit more than that, but yeah, let's just call it like for 3 grand you could probably do it.
Okay, so 35 to 4, you'd be very comfortable, be able to buy some cool stuff, trinkets, gifts for people back home.
Yeah.
So there you guys go, right? For those of you that have never done a Japan trip, obviously the car guys who are watching this, Tokyo Auto Salon just seems like the ultimate reason to make yourself go even in the cold.
Yeah, and every night there's a meet too.
Yeah, so you're going to get overfill of just crazy cool Japanese culture from the organized style in the event itself to the night meets,
Yeah.
the lights. Tokyo is an amazing city. So there you go, guys. 3 bare minimum, say. 4, you'd be more comfortable. And then
Yeah.
if you have more, you can buy parts and try to bring them
Yeah,
back with
you
you or
could-
ship them back to you.
Yeah, ship back parts, whatever. But so like one of the nights, like during Auto Salon, I want to say it was like a Thursday or Friday. Sarah Choi did like a S2000 meet,
Okay?
and it was like a downstairs, and we literally stay like a block and a half away from where it was. So we were like, oh well, might as well go to that.
Okay.
So then we went to that, stayed there for like not that long, just looked at all the S2000, said what's up to some people, went back up. We were kind of hungry, so it's downstairs in a parking garage, and then so we went back up to the streets, and then we heard that there was going to be lowriders
Yep.
cruising in, and all these lowriders started cruising in. They're all like 6'4s and like all these things, right?
If you guys
And-
don't know about the way the Japanese do West Coast culture,
Dude, they were like straight head to toe,
yes.
like look like they
LA
were like
Mexican
buttoned from
gangsters,
the top, like
right?
Mexican gangster style, like the whole nine. It was crazy. So that was neat and everything, but the almost the best part of it was you're walking around, it's cold. There's all these lowriders, random like other like GTRs and Supras and stuff that
Yeah.
are just like kind of in the mix because maybe they were going to that meet, leaving, whatever. And then you're getting pictures and stuff. Lowriders bouncing down the street, big old screens as backdrops because this is Japan. So like around certain areas that have like cool like giant Manhattan style screens.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there was so many of, you know what I'm saying, there was like the 40, 50 people on our list.
Yeah.
All those people were there.
Yeah.
So it was so wild to see. I would just be like walking around with my groups, and then you'd run into other groups, and I remember just like it's so casual.
Yeah.
Like I remember just like looking at this car, and then one of the guys from Speed Hunters that we were with was taking a picture of this car because he was kind of posted up, so the dude's just like taking pictures. I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. And then I was with like Ravi and a bunch of other, I think a bunch of us were there, and then Kenji from Gretty US just kind of walks by, and he's just like started talking to us, not like, oh, what's up, because he's just ran into like a bunch of
Yeah.
all the LA local guys
Yeah.
and all this, right? So we just like casually just like said some words, and we were like, oh yeah, da 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 da, and he just keeps walking, and then like another person walks by, and they're like, dude, everybody was in one little centralized area, and it was so neat because you're just meandering around like a few city blocks where all
Yeah.
the lowriders are going, and you're just like, oh, that's that person, that person, that person, that person. You're just saying what's up to everybody, and it was like so neat because how casual it was,
Yeah.
and the background, the backdrop, the environment of everything, and then it's like 10 o'clock at night or something
Dude,
like
I
that.
actually really like
It's
what you're
really
describing because that type of thing. No matter where you are in the world, that type of like informal, fun, casual vibe, but you're around like all of these people, and builders and styles and cars. It's perfect that you say that because while you were in Japan doing this, I experienced something very similar, but in just an entirely different realm
Hmm.
of the automotive world, right?
Right.
So we're talking about we're here in California to Miami to Tokyo. Ryan's in Japan, in Tokyo. Well, he also went to Osaka. I mean, the Japan stories could take up like 3 whole episodes, so
Yeah,
we
true.
can't quite do that. But so this is just Tokyo. We're not even talking about Osaka yet. But while you're doing this, like this what you just described was perfect because I literally experienced the same thing when I was in Miami. So
Okay.
TAS, I actually ended up going down to Miami to be a guest VIP judge at an event called Motor Car Cavalcade, which is a Concours de Elegance event. So for are you guys familiar?
I remember you mentioning this
Yeah, so
like
West
early
Coast,
on when you're.
the ultimate one that everyone knows of is Pebble Beach. And then Florida has Amelia Island.
Hmm.
But this is another one, a newer one. This is only the second year. And it is a Concours de Elegance event. If you guys aren't familiar, I mean, this is a very, very high end,
Right.
right? These are very high end,
Coach built cars
coach
and.
built. But it's like a social mixer as much as it is
Oh yeah.
about cars, but it's a lot of very notable people,
Hmm.
very big name people,
Right.
and massive car collections, and they'll select one or two or three to be there. So there could be anything from coach built cars. If you guys aren't familiar, coach built cars are effectively no budget
Hmm.
one off cars. A coach built car is a completely customized car. They might pick a power plant, but the body, the dash, the seats are literally not from anything else on planet Earth. They design the
Right.
car. They create a frame. They create a wire frame and they hand create metal and an English wheel and merge metal to give arches and shapes and body lengths, right? So there's that, but there's also everything. This one had Kat DeLorean from the DeLorean family,
Hmm.
and she has her own brand, her own company, and she's continuing the DeLorean legacy
Okay. Yeah.
in her own style.
Hmm.
She's a very intelligent. Like I saw the interview with her on the stage. If you guys go to my Instagram, you'll see pieces of this from reels and posts I made and will be making from the coverage. So Kat DeLorean, John Hennessy,
Oh yeah.
and
Him.
his son
Hmm.
Hennessy came out and debuted their newest supercar build. Um,
Yeah, I heard about that car.
and I mean the lines, the you guys can see it. The electronics in it, the lines, the shaping. It's pretty crazy looking. So it was a 2 day event. The first day we did a rally, so they got police escorts
Yeah.
and licenses to actually take these cars on the road. No racing, everyone just cruise.
Yeah.
But you have like, man. So it was everything from a Hennessy to Ferraris, Bugattis, Rolls Royces, Porsches. This gentleman and his wife, they have two rally cars, but they do real rallies, like
Hmm.
in Africa and
Hmm.
Morocco type rallies,
Hmm.
and then they bring the cars back.
Wow.
Like seriously hardcore racing, and they had a Porsche that they did on the rally that they've done in like full blown safari type racing.
Okay, so it's a safari build.
That one,
Like
and
okay.
then they have another one.
What year range is the car?
That one, oh
Is it
man,
air cooled or is it like
that one was it's in the it's in my reels, you guys. I should know, but I was bombarded with
hmm
a variety. Like that was a very different one, and they actually brought another uh, um, like a Sprite or somebody else, and it was also a rally car, and it ended up winning in one of its classes. But this is what I'm talking about. So it isn't just about the highest or most expensive car.
hmm
There are hypercars like a Koenigsegg and a Pagani, right? Huayra, if that's even how you say that, all the way to a McLaren Speedtail,
hmm
right? To a 19. So this was the earliest car there was a 1928 Austin um, that won the best in show vintage category,
Mm.
and these are huge cars.
Did
Remember,
you judge cars?
so I did.
What did you judge? You didn't have to judge those. You judged something
So
else.
all of the judges that came in were asked for their votes All of them, no matter
Okay.
what
On
we
everything.
were
Okay.
given different categories, but all of us voted for the best in show modern and the best in show vintage.
Okay.
Now we were given different categories. You guys, this is very different. This is very different than other types of shows or competitions. The way that they did this, they had glass, dashboard, panels, fins, and rockers. These are the breakdown of the categories.
Wow.
It is extremely different,
Hmm.
right? And the point of this style of the motor car cavalcade was to celebrate the art of the automobile. So they're trying to infuse the idea that it isn't so even much about winning, right? And even though they have these very atypical, super cool classes, but it's a mixer, it's an environment, and so any type of Japanese car, the lowriders Ryan's talking about in Japan, and I'm looking at borderline priceless 1928 hand restored.
Hmm.
So the guy who won, his story was cool. His father found the car and started restoring it. Didn't finish it. He ended up taking it on. It took him, I think, 9 more years, and they finished it. He did every single part of the restoration minus the final paint job, and I think the leather work. But it isn't a
Like
resto mod. It
okay.
is literally done to be
Hand built.
exactly the way they released it in 1928, but obviously it's going to be better paint or something, but it's
Yeah.
the same colorway, nothing changed. Man, this car is incredible. Like when you look at it, there's a compartment. You open the compartment, and inside of the compartment, which you can, it's only about yay big, you can just put your hand in. Inside, when you looked in, it's all wood.
Hmm.
And the back of it is like brushed brass, and then there's leather straps for the wheels on the side, but
Wow.
then there's paint, and then there's metal, and there's it's like, dude, the pieces that they use to create cars, it was like, because they obviously weren't mass producing
Yeah.
quite yet,
Right.
it's almost like
They were
every car was
using
hand
like
assembled back
wood
then.
and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
woods and brasses and metals
And
and,
probably woods that don't really exist much
dude,
here. Like
crazy,
hard to
right?
get woods.
Yeah. So there was all these cars, and when I looked at the who's who in the program and the judges,
Uh huh.
you had celebrity guest judges. They had Wyclef Jean
Huh.
came, Alonzo Mourning, which he was also there last year, Cuba Gooding Jr. Right, so these are your like celebrity guests, and then they had
Big Mike.
Big Mike. Um, swear, the program, it's wild. You have, okay, so there's, I mean, this massively robust like layout of guest judges. They have like an award-winning sound artist who I ended up being paired up with him to do a class. And for many of the automotive racing games,
Mm-hmm.
not the newest ones, but for like an 8-year block of time, all of the racing games that we all know of by name, he's the one who did the sound
Hmm.
for all of them. Uh, it's crazy. So an incredible person. His name's Jesse James. Credible guy to be paired up with to judge. The man who founded the DuPont Registry. The
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
current editor in
I
chief of.
remember DuPont Registry.
Yeah, dude, that was like, we were all like, God damn, these are the baller things. The man
Yeah.
who founded that, the man who runs and owns the Mecum Financial Group,
Uh huh.
the first female IndyCar driver, and I believe she was Rookie of the Year when she came in. But in
Hmm.
her era, that is not a small task,
Right.
right? So these are the other guest judges along with me. So they're announcing founder of the DuPont Registry, editor in chief of Maxim Magazine, first female IndyCar driver, award-winning sound artist. And then they talk about the guests, and I'm in this group, and I'm looking around like, man, you never could have seen that coming. Like, who would ever imagine? And then they're like, we also have a celebrity guest. Let's bring him up. His name is Wyclef Jean, and the guy just totally says his name wrong. And
Wow.
then Wyclef comes up being, Wyclef, and I'm laughing because I'm just like, I don't really think any of these people know who that is,
Yeah.
and that is a extraordinarily world famous
Yeah.
producer and
For
artist.
sure.
But yet, I don't really think anyone there other than Alonzo Mourning
Yeah.
is probably gonna know who he is, right? But I mean, Alonzo Mourning was super low key. He's huge, right?
Yeah.
The biggest dude there, and he's just chilling in a hat, and he's got a sweater on, and he's just hanging out. But so I'm seeing the pictures from Ryan's Instagram and this like super eclectic, super dope Japanese vibe that I'm sure all of you guys who watch this absolutely love. And I'm over here, and it's booked the same weekend. So I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't have done TAS even if I wanted.
Right.
I was booked pretty far in advance.
Yeah.
But dude, I always talk about how we get to do stuff individually together, such as car talk, but we're on two super far parts of the planet. Tokyo, Miami. I mean, we're from California. Miami's all the way over there. And we're just involved directly or indirectly with just car culture on like this ultimate scale. So I got to just do there were Citrons that were like one of 61 left in the world, and there was a guy who brought a V spec. He was, because they're slowly,
Mm-hmm.
notice in Concours
Yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
slowly bringing in Japanese cars, and so this one actually had a couple. But there was a gentleman who hand restored a like a '58 Cadillac. You know how big those cars are?
Mm-hmm.
They are 5,000 6,000 pound massive wheelbase, tons of steel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah.
American cars back then.
Super heavy.
They have the Italians, they have the British Astons and Rollses, and then the Hennessy's, American made. So John Hennessy and his son, they had their whole layout. Every one of the Hennessy salespeople or reps are all in like Texan like hats,
Mm.
because they got that theme.
Yeah.
And when they were interviewing John Hennessy, he was just like, "So I started out Hennessy with a huge fortune, and I've managed to turn it into a very small fortune." Because he
Really?
basically told everyone, "I've lost an ass ton of money," and he
Wow.
doesn't care. He just still continues making these supercars.
Yeah.
But he said it was like one of the most like like hilarious, memorable quotes. The man said, "I started with a large fortune, and I now have a small fortune," and it was just like, you know. So from the rally to the actual Concours, we went through Miami, police escort, and we end up at the Bentley residences. Because
Oh.
Bentley,
Yeah.
you know about it, right?
Not really.
Bentley is making residences.
Oh.
Like,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah.
And right by the water.
Yeah.
I believe someone said, I don't keep up with this kind of stuff in the car world, that kind of side of the car world. I think someone said Porsche already has it.
Hmm.
But basically, the Bentley, so we went inside, we got the tours, we get to see what it is.
Oh wow.
Every single unit, and I think it's going up a lot of stories,
Yeah.
right? Every single unit, when you drive in, the elevator takes your car to your living room.
Huh.
So you park,
Yeah.
whoop, and your car will sit in your living room.
Yeah.
It's not in a structure underneath you. It's right there. And they showed how, I don't know about all, but maybe the bigger unit could fit three.
Mm.
It's not just like a little
Right.
space. Nah, dude. And each one has X amount of view of beach and water. And
It's
they're
important that your Bentley can see the ocean, right?
you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, wow. So this was ground floor. They hadn't built it yet, and they're selling units.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we all pulled in to the rally, parked all of these amazing cars,
Wow.
and had this mixer. This was the day before, and then went back. And so, even though I was brought in as a judge for the day of, for the rally part, I know the Karis culture, which is the guys who run the media side of this Concours.
Oh, they run that?
Yeah.
Huh.
So what ends up happening is even though I'm a judge and I don't have to check in until the morning of the Concours, there's no duties whatsoever aside from the day of. I ended up, instead of being, if you're a judge, you can get in and they'll put you in a car for the rally. So I could have been sitting in some super rare anything, but I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to do it from the media side. And instead of being in front of the camera, which was all Sunday, I was in front. Saturday, the rally day, I ended up being behind the camera like a media guy. And I'm in the truck with the other guys, just capturing vlog footage and still footage as we cruise down Miami with the police escort with these crazy cars on the highway and by the water. Man, it was so fantastic, dude. Such a cool experience. Such exotic cars and rare cars and restored cars and priceless cars or waiting list cars or one of only 11 left in the world, but literally restored so that it's better than it came off the showroom.
Mm-hmm.
Just so everything Japanese or lowriders in Japanese style and everything Europe, Italy, British, American style.
Right.
So cool.
Yeah.
So different. And that's just kind of an example of the stuff that we get to be a part of. Whether
So you're glad you went.
I am glad, and they actually already told me that they want me to come back next year.
Wow.
I mean, dude, you guys, I'm talking about award-winning sound artists and authors and just mega CEOs, and they're just like, I don't know where they found the headshot. I don't know where they found the blurb or who wrote it. I actually didn't find that out. But they're like da 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 award-winning this and IndyCar driver rookie of the year and DuPont Registry founder and Mika Automotive Group and event host, MC, award-winning designer, and competitive car builder, and founder of the Think Bigger podcast, Big Mike. And I was like, that is about the greatest bio that has ever been announced. And I was like, who wrote that? And I actually asked my guys from the Karis culture, and they're like, we don't know who wrote that. That's a different team. There's like a PR firm. So they clearly looked you up, and I was just like, bro, if I've never wanted to pop my collar, cause and I'm look, you guys, I'm in like green cargo pants. I've got some like royal Jordans on, some gold and white ones, and I'm in a Think Bigger Project bomber jacket. Everyone else is in like, like plaid blazers with like a tie, like golf
Even
style.
like the basketball players and
Oh, dude,
Wycliffe.
fit it up. Oh yeah, yeah. Wyclef was wearing like an entirely red. He was wearing like a red dress shirt with like red flared pants and shoes, and he was riding a Tron motorcycle around the greens. Like
Okay.
I swear to God, you guys will look this up. Look up, go to motorcarcavalcade.com, and you will see gorgeous photos of all these cars and Wyclef Jean in a red suit sitting on a Tron motorcycle, which he was actually riding on the green. And this is the type of stuff. And they said this bio, and I was like, bro, why do I feel amazing in this moment? And I looked at the photos. I'm the most underdressed dude there. All the women are in like Kentucky Derby style.
Yeah,
The
but
hats.
I mean,
But I'm
that's
just being me. And I'm not going to put on a tux for no reason. But there's a dude, they call him John Sax. This dude's playing like a saxophone live the whole day by the stage. I got this video where me and him are like rocking out together, and he's like, doo, 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 doo. Like, you guys will see it on my Instagram. It's hilarious when I'm seeing Ryan and Ravi and other people that I know went to TAS who I would have loved to go to. Doing this, you got this whole like night vibe, right?
hmm
Super cool Japanese vibe. And I'm in Miami on a golf course, bright sun but cold. It wasn't hot. No clouds in the sky, just sunlight on the green with all these cars, and I'm like, on my spare time, like looking at your guys' stuff, and I'm like, nighttime Shibuya crossing Tokyo vibes, TAS and HKS and Greddy and Type One, and
hmm
I'm over here with Astons and Bugattis and Puganis, and I'm just like, how different is
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
so cool. So if you guys are not on Ryan's Instagram, you would have seen a lot of this stuff. Make sure you get onto his personal one. My personal one, you would see everything I'm talking about. And stick with us because at his home, when we have guests, we're going to have this like super cool environment where we can feature people and their entire car in frame. And then also the new Rywire location, which is it's a bit of a ways off, but Ryan is gonna do like what he did with his house and create something that this is a forever type place, so to
hmm
speak, and
Something with visual interest.
with visual interest. Don't allow that to go over your head. And
hmm
we will do car talk episodes there, and just there's so much more coming. So uh, I barely glossed it over. He didn't even touch Osaka and other parts, but for the sake of time,
I know.
there's so much more.
I think I spent too much time before,
But
but whatever.
but
You guys got to feel the vibe.
because it's not just about cars. It's
Right.
about the community. It's about the vibe, and whether it be Miami or Tokyo, this is an example of the ways we've been able to kick off 2023, and it's just started. So
Yeah.
there's so much more to come, and we look forward to kind of renewing the consistency of Car Talk as we prepare other locations to include in this. So thank you guys for being here. You got anything else you want to add, Ryan?
No.
There it is. All right, guys. We appreciate you. We'll see you on the next episode.